We ever getting Harlan back?
Bro, he's he's buying a house.
Yeah,
They just don't have the house yet. I mean, StreamYard's a little easier, a little more user friendly. But it sucks for the basketball minute. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to look at banners, brand.
Trying to pull that up.
Bro, next week, we can definitely pre-record your thing. If we're on this again, we can pre-record it. You just gotta let me know.
I fucking hate YouTube, man. It always.
Yo, we're live. We're live. It's funny. I just saw it on the thing. Getting going. I'm going to share this to a bunch of groups and we'll get started.
Yeah.
You guys can start commenting now. If you have any questions for Richie, ask him what he shot today out on the course.
Ugh, not a good day.
No?
No, I think I came in at like a 91 on the day. So.
What time do you get up, Freddie? What time do you get up in the morning?
Shoot, it just really depends on the day. Most times I say like 6:30, but sometimes like this week kind of killed me because I had some days where I went to the gym super late, so I slept in a little bit.
Richie, what time do you get up for work?
For anywhere between 4:30 and 8. So.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty big variance there.
4:30 and 8. I asked that, and Richie made know where I was going. We've been trying to get Richie to do a morning ride with us on like our Peloton group that we've got, and Richie is like, I mean, he doesn't even consider it. He just replies back like, nah, I'm not getting up that early. I mean, we did a ride this morning at 7:00. Like, that's not even early,
I was on my way to the golf course at 7:00 this morning, so I'll get up early for something I want to do.
A lot of them we get up at, and we're super supportive of Richie. He just had he did a birthday ride the other day. So if you do, you do a ride on your birthday, you get a bunch of high fives. Sometimes they might shout you out, whatever. Couple people, got on with Richie to ride for his birthday, and then we get up at 6 a.m. every morning and ride. And he's like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't really care about riding with you." We get up at 7 today. He's like, "Nah, I'm good." He says "Oh, I'm doing a Super Bowl ride again. We're gonna try next week and ride with Richie again." And
you're the one that's 9:30 doesn't work for me. I'm like, come on, 9:30. That works for everybody.
9:30 is tough with two little kids running around, man. They're one they're butts wiped and stuff, so it's harder. But
Kara won't be happy, but you can still do it. So,
but Richie refused to get up early, so I figured that. Freddie, you have a kid. What time's your daughter get up?
Whenever she feels somebody get out of bed.
Yeah, she's ready to go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So maybe by next week, I want to bring you guys. This is the little pre-show inside info that everybody gets. If you're watching this, if you could share it, retweet it, like it. I'll update you guys next week to let you know if Richie got out of bed early at all this week. The answer is probably going to be no, but it's worth a try. We can't get Richie. Man's already get up at 4:30 anyway, but he can't get up at 7 or do a ride. It's insane to me. All right, now that I'm done giving Richie a hard time, we can get going. Again, if you're watching, if you could share it, retweet it, like it, post it in a group, send it to a group message, tag a buddy or a friend. We'd appreciate it. But a big week. I'm excited to get going, so we'll get started. Welcome to Double Fries No Slaw. Myself, TJ Pittenger, alongside Freddie Stevenson and Richie Barnes. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
And it's been a big week for Noles Nation, man. Super Bowl week coming up next week. Hey, I'm feeling good. What about you, Richie?
Yeah, man, we have multiple players in the Super Bowl, so a lot of representation from Florida State there. Miami cannot say the same. I had a good weekend, took it easy yesterday. Got out there, played a little golf today. Didn't play well, but it was still nice to get back out there in some nice 60-degree weather. So, what about you, TJ?
And it's been a relaxing weekend. We haven't done a ton. My daughter's in swim lessons right now, and so we did that yesterday morning, and then the rest of the day yesterday and today we've just kind of been hanging out at home. I've been telling you guys I've been doing Whole 30 all month. Today was the last day of that, so next week I won't have this massive water bottle. I'll be back with the whiskey, so that'll be good. So
let's go.
Yeah, I'm already we're already I mean, we don't want to go crazy because you'll get sick if you just
for sure
ice cream and cookies and just bagels tomorrow morning and stuff. So but we're gonna eat a dinner that's not Whole 30. We're excited about it. I'm gonna have a buddy over. They did Whole 30 as well, and we're gonna have a couple of drinks and stuff. So I'm excited for that. But man, no, Super Bowl week, great week for FSU. Schedule was released. We got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited. We had a good weekend. In this house, it was pretty chill. We didn't do a ton, but I'm excited to break it all down with you guys. One more thing though, before we get going, I saw, and I went back and looked at the last several updates. Yeah, we'll definitely comment on that when we talk a little more. We'll talk a little football. Yeah, massive trade in the NFL. But the boosters released the numbers, their update from last week, and they were up 1,055 new donors last week. And I went back to look at the updates just to because that number just stuck out. I know we see the updates every Friday, Saturday. I know that it always seems like, oh, that's a lot. That's great. That's great. That's great. The week before was 500. The week before was 600. The week before was 400. The week before was 250. The week before was 500. And I'm not saying that I see the comments. It's not all us, but it was the week that Alfred came on the show. And so it's you guys. It's not us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just the chance to come and speak to you guys. I mean, he obviously does a fantastic job breaking down what's going on with the boosters, what's going on with the organization, the program. But it's on you guys. You guys are the ones that signed up. Us three didn't sign up. We already had in the past. So I'm glad that he was able to come on the show. I'm glad that there was a big push, but I'll have him on every week if that's the kind of output that we're going to get. If you haven't signed up, Google Seminole Boosters. It's the One Tribe Fund. Sign up for $5 a month. Man, they're 42% of the way to the goal. The goal that they want to get to in 2021, we're 31 days in and they're 42% of the way there, right? And that's where we go into what Freddie was talking about. Man, we don't want to get to 13,000 or whatever that goal is. We want to get to 20. We want to crush that goal. We want to blow it the heck out. Man, I'm excited for football. The schedule release came out. More info on the spring game coming. I'm so thrilled for just the positive excitement that we've got going around FSU. So had to give that update before we got into it completely. Of course, we appreciate Guthrie's as well and their partnership. You can visit both their locations there in Tallahassee. We talk about it every week, 2550 North Monroe and 1818 West Tennessee Street. So outside of the boosters, the biggest news of the week was the schedule release, right? Well, maybe not even the biggest news of the week, but the first news of the week was the schedule release. And Richie, if you want to kind of run through the schedule real quick. People have seen it. They know what it is, but just kind of blow through the schedule real quick. And then let's get some quick thoughts on it.
Yeah. So we knew we were going to open on a Sunday before Labor Day against Notre Dame in Tallahassee. Then we get Jacksonville State in Tallahassee, Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, Louisville and Syracuse come to Tallahassee back-to-back weeks. Then we got a trip to Chapel Hill for a revenge game for Mac Brown and Sam Howell. Fitting that it's homecoming for Walt Bell and UMass coming to Tallahassee. The slaughter against Clemson coming October 30th. NC State and Miami come to Doak back-to-back. Then we are at Boston College and at Florida to end the season. So, it seems to me like a very manageable front end of the schedule and pretty backloaded back end. But I'm not mad at all. I saw a lot of fans the ACC screwed us again. And I'm like, no, man, I think that's pretty fair. What were your thoughts when you saw it, Freddie?
Yeah, I thought without a doubt with some of those early games, we'll have opportunity early on to get us a few wins. And it's looking very, very favorable. I know it's too early to speak on it, but just from the outside looking in, based on what we saw last year, if this team continues to go in the right direction, I wouldn't see why we couldn't get some big wins early on.
Richie, what you got? Music blaring in the background there?
I bought one of those Apple HomePods, and I put my phone on it and just started playing music.
Oh my goodness, bro!
I'm still trying to figure it out.
You're talking that out of your pay. I don't know what in the world's going on here. No, what were your thoughts on the schedule, Richie, when you saw it come out?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty favorable. For a young team, and Notre Dame, obviously they're good every single year. Brian Kelly, he's got that turned into a pretty well-oiled machine. But at the same time, they lose Ian Book. They lose, I think, all 5 starting offensive linemen. That's a game where if Florida State can, come in and pull an upset, they get Jacksonville State, Wake Forest, Louisville, Syracuse. You could easily be 5-0. Now I'm not expecting that at all. So nobody clip me I'm saying Richie said 5-0, but no, there's a lot going on there. I like the way it lays out. It's loaded in the back end with Miami, Clemson, and Florida in the final 4 of the final 6 games. But at the same time, it's a very manageable schedule. And, we talk expectations. I think, to me personally, I don't know about you two, but 6 wins, that's kind of the goal next year. Anything less, it would be disappointing. But get to 6-6, show that improvement, and then next year, maybe go from 6 to 9, or, go from 3 to 6, 6 9. We'll see. What about you, TJ?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a little bit more out of it. I know we talked a little bit about it on Twitter. I really think you got to push for that 7th win, whether that be during the regular season or, potentially in a bowl game, right? Like, I feel like that 7th win is big. If you can get it in the regular season and then you kind of get into a lower level bowl and you play a team that you're pretty outmatched or you're overmatched against, I think you've got the chance to then get to that 8th win. And man, what improvement that is, right? To go from 3 to 8. Yeah. It sets up really well at the beginning of the schedule. Notre Dame's going to come in as a favorite, but getting them with a new offensive line, hopefully we've shown some improvement. We played them tough last year. We had some things go right for us in that game, and so you'd think we probably need some things to break our way again to have a chance to upset them. But I think that chance would be there, and then the schedule does kind of lay out nicely past that. Jacksonville State's a win. At Wake Forest is not easy, but I think that's a winnable game. Louisville at home, though they thrashed us this year, I think that's a winnable game. Syracuse at home, that's definitely a winnable game. I think they're the worst team in the ACC. North Carolina is going to be very tough in Chapel Hill, but then the UMass game after that is a win. So, I think if you could find a way to get to 4-2 through those first 6, I think that's really good. If you're 3-3 has got to be the floor. You can't do any worse than that. So, if you were to lose to Notre Dame and North Carolina, your 2 toughest games, and then drop one more, I think that's kind of where you're at. If you can win all the other games and go 4-2 to start the year, I think that is how you set yourself up really nicely. Somebody asked about, is Clemson going to thrash us in the comments without Trevor? Yeah. I still think so. Trevor is undoubtedly the best pro prospect that we've seen since a long time, and I understand that's a massive loss, but they're just so deep everywhere that, I still think they will. NC State's not really, really good. I think getting them and Miami back-to-back at home, I think that's helpful. I think you need to find a way to split that. You need to find a way to beat Boston College, because I don't see us beating Florida to end the year. So, I think that with some things going our way, I think 7-5's possible. 6-6 is more likely, but I don't think you can go under 500 here. There's a difference in going under 500 and looking competitive in every single game and things just not breaking your way. But I think they really need to go 6-6 or better. Freddie, did you have a record in mind? I know we're not going to go game by game, but did you have a record in mind when you saw the schedule come out?
Yeah, I think 6-6, just based off what we've seen this past year, that's a fair one. Hopefully, with that NC State and Miami stretch, we can pull out both of them. It's been a while since we got a win against Miami, so that's a crucial game. And just with the Clemson and Florida game, we can't afford to lose all those rivalry games again in one season. That hurts us in recruiting. So we definitely have to get that Miami game, because I don't see us beating Florida.
Yeah, I'm with you there. They're tough. I'm hoping they take a step back, obviously, with Trask and Pitts leaving. Their defense hopefully still won't be very good. And by the end of the year, maybe Florida State is, maybe we are more competitive. Milton stays healthy. The offense is rolling. I can see that game being competitive. If you'd asked us after 2017, when even with Jimbo, like with one foot out the door, we still beat the heck out of them in Gainesville, right? And so a lot can change in a year. I will say that they're pretty far ahead right now with that gap. But again, I would have said the same thing after 2017. I'd have said that, man, they're not beating us anytime soon. Obviously didn't know what was coming in 2018. I didn't know that the team was going to look like it ended up looking. But who knows? You don't really know how Emory's going to come in and look for them. So we'll see. I'm thankful, as always, that game's at the end of the year. I know the schedule's backloaded at the end, but yeah, I'd rather your toughest games be at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Now that makes it really tough if you stumble at the beginning to make your way back into bowl eligibility. But at that point, if you're losing to the Wake Forests and the Louisvilles and the NC State and these other teams, there's no pressure on those last games. You just know what's coming and you roll with it. So yeah, I like getting all those other teams late in the year, like we have. I'm excited for the spring game. I'm excited to get back up to Tallahassee for that. I actually might be going for a hoops game in a couple of weeks, but I'm really excited. I'm going to do my very best to be up there for that Labor Day game on a Sunday night, right? Yeah. A Sunday night, that's different. I know the Boomers are mad about that, but Sunday night game.
We're all off work on that Monday, so I mean it's a perfect night to. Hey, if Mike Norvell wants to make some noise, man, go win that game, and things get really interesting really quick.
We'll have church at the tailgate that morning, and then we'll beat the hell out of the Catholics that night. So it'll be great. What was after the schedule news? Oh, recruiting. Some big recruiting news. Richie, what happened today?
Yeah, so I put this outline together a few days ago.
You called your shot. You put this in there before.
And I'm not acting like I'm an insider. I just follow it enough to know. But,
insider Richie Barnes.
But 4-star quarterback Nico Marchio from Arizona. He's the number 9 pro-style quarterback in the country, number 220 overall, the 247 composite. Picked Florida State. He's committed, guys. And last week he was in Florida, spent a few days in Gainesville, a few days in Tallahassee. His Final Four was Arizona State, Florida, and Rutgers. And he popped for Florida State. And, it's a big-time pickup. We weren't sure, what Mike Norvell is doing because there's some other quarterbacks on the board. And the people question, should we take this commit at this time or not? I think absolutely. Like, you have to take it. You have a true blue-chip quarterback that wants to jump on board. You have to take him. Did Freddie and TJ, did you guys see the news? I think it happened today, didn't it?
Yeah, I saw the news pop up, and it's crazy because we've heard how this staff can't recruit. They didn't have good recruiting ties in different states. So just to see that they're doing their job on the recruitment trail after the season that we had, the logo still holds weight, and we have some of the right guys in place. So, and the recruits clearly know that even though Florida State has been down for the past few years, we won't be down for long. So that's something to be optimistic about. And you young recruits on the trail, come be a part of something special because once we back up, I'm telling you, we're winning championships. We're competing for championships.
Yeah. Did I see that it moved Florida? And I'm not predicting they finish anywhere around this, but a lot of heat in that 2022 class, right? Like moved them up around 6th. Is that right?
I think they're 6th in the country right now, and they have who potentially could be the number 1 overall recruit in the country in Travis Hunter out of Georgia, man. This class, it's off to an amazing start. You still got Marvin Jones Jr. out there. He's expected to potentially be at Florida State, obviously a legacy, but man, that's Norvell's off to a hot start, and it goes back to the schedule we were talking about. If you get off to like a 4-2 start, like you were talking about, TJ, that's huge because these recruits are going to say, all right, yeah, they're building something here, and other recruits are going to want to hop on board. So this is huge, man.
Yeah, it's big not only for the recruiting, but it's also big for the current team that's on the field to continue to gain confidence. You start out a year like 2018 and you start out like 2-5 or something, and you're barely beating like Samford and stuff. You have no confidence for the rest of the year, right? And so it's not only big for the recruiting, but then that confidence carries over, and maybe you upset a Miami team. Maybe you go down to the 4th quarter with Florida, right? Like, and you're in that one. You beat an NC State. So, yeah, I think that it's massive not only for recruiting, but also to keep your team engaged and everything else. So it all kind of ties into each other. We've talked about this on the show before. Guys believe what Norvell's selling, right? Yeah. Whether that's guys that are looking for their last opportunity to make the NFL and they're transferring out of programs like Georgia and South Carolina and Auburn, or they're the best quarterback in the state and they're Mackenzie Milton, or just whatever. Like, guys believe in what Norvell's selling. And I think you see that with classes coming down the line as well. They have to back that up on the field. We need to win some games. And I think at 6 wins plus a bowl, you show improvement. You look a little better against teams like Florida and Clemson. You play Notre Dame really tough to open the year, whether you win or lose. I think that's kind of how you sell that, hey, we're coming back. We're back on that upward swing. You can't go – I mean, theoretically you can. We'll see what would happen. But the problem will be you can't beat all the bad teams on the schedule. Syracuse, Boston College, Samford, go 6-6 and then get absolutely annihilated when you play Miami and Florida and Clemson and Notre Dame because, at that point, it's fool's gold, right? So I think that the play on the field will be pretty telling. But exciting commitment from, again, a blue chip quarterback. That wasn't the only recruiting news we had this week. Who else committed this week, Richie?
No, so we got a 3-star, number 397 nationally, weak side defensive end Aaron Hester from Jacksonville, Florida. He's actually the son of former Florida State linebacker Ron Hester. He had offers and was heavily pursued by Miami, Michigan, Penn State, and some others. And he picked Florida State. And we talked about Jermaine Johnson, the transfer from Georgia, how big that was, because we need a pass rusher, guys. This guy is a legitimate pass rusher. I'm really excited about him. I think he's a guy that can. He's not going to be coming as a true freshman and be a freshman All-American, but with 2-3 years in Storm system, I mean, he will not be number 397 in the country come signing day. He's going to be probably a top 200 player. He's a really good athlete, and it's what Florida State needs, a legitimate pass rusher. Freddie, what were your thoughts on him?
Yeah, without a doubt, I haven't truly followed him as a player. But just him being the legacy, that helps because his father let him know what it takes to be a Nole. That's first and foremost what we expect out of him, what's going to be expected out of him day one. Just him coming in, understanding what it takes from a guy that's old school. That's big, coming in first day, understanding, and we know those values have been instilled in him. But I got a question for you guys. I know on this recruiting trail, I feel like getting Milton kind of helped us out. But how much do you think a guy like Travis Hunter being so loyal to the program and voicing that constantly on social media, how much do y'all think that has played into getting some of these guys on board and will play in the future?
It's huge, man. It's like, we go back to Jimbo's first class when LaMarcus Joyner and Jeff Luke jumped on board. That's when everyone's like, man, I want to go play for Jimbo. He's building something. All these elite players want to go play for him. And Travis Hunter, like I said, there's a good chance he will be the number one recruit in the entire country. He can play defense back or wide receiver. He's that elite. He would probably be the top player at either position in the country. So that's huge. And to see him so active on social media, on Twitter, adding, other elite recruits, other 5-star guys, like, hey, you coming to be an Nole with me or what? That's big time because, it's one thing if, say, Richie Barnes, the 2-star receiver from St. Cloud, Florida, he jumps on board. No one's going to listen to me if I say anything, but you got a 5-star number one player at his position, at multiple positions. That's huge to see him so vocal and active on Twitter. I love it, man. Travis Hunter. And that's why it's important we start off strong on the weak part of the first half of the schedule, because that's only going to get him that more engaged. And again, everybody wants to play with the best players. Freddie, I'm sure you were the same way. Jimbo's recruiting classes were off the charts, especially in your recruiting class, in the classes before and just after. It's a huge deal to have a 5-star, bona fide stud that everybody knows he's going to be elite, so vocal and so active on Twitter, trying to recruit other people. I think, again, you got to win games, but this could be a really good recruiting class, and Travis Hunter will be a big part of it.
Yeah, no, super exciting. And to answer Freddie's question as well, I think it's getting comments that we didn't have to give him a comment bag to get him. Speaking of Freddie's comments, like that that bell cow is just so important, right? Like we've had a lot of, unfortunately, we've had a couple bell cows of classes like dip out at the last second, the last couple of years, and so hoping that's not the case now. But you just see what it does for the class, like it's massive. So, transitioning from the field over to the court, everyone's favorite segment of the show. We're blaming Harlan again. He isn't here to do the Zoom so that we can get good music in here. So we're going to pipe in some crappy music. Next week, we're going to pre-record this, and I'm going to play it for you guys so that we have good music with it. I've just learned how to do that. That's a great question that we just got about Saban, and we'll talk. I will bring that up. I'll talk about that. That's a great question. But without further ado, I don't know if anybody else likes it, but mine and Freddie's favorite part of the entire show, Richie Barnes' basketball minute. Richie, let it roll.
Florida State was back on the hardwood Wednesday evening as they hosted a short-handed Miami Hurricane team that it would seem like more like a Florida summer sun shower. The Tribe would come out strong on a 14-5 run, capped off by a silky smooth Sadar Calhoun shot from distance. Then it was the Scotty Showtime Barnes show as he connected on the multiple buckets in a short period of time. The good guys would finish out the half with a 35-23 point lead, with the count never as close as the score would indicate. The second 20 minutes started on a strong note when Big Balsa Koprovica opened the half with a strong take to the hole and won. The Kings would scrap and claw their way back into the game, but come on, man. It's playoff Lenny Hamilton against the Hurricanes. They never stood a chance. From there, the magnificent MJ Walker stole the ball, drove the length of the court, and delivered a thunderous tomahawk jam on the other end. The lead would then balloon to a prime time 21 points on the heels of a Malik Ozzy Osbourne deep ball. Then, with 5:19 left to play, the sensational Sadar Calhoun cut a lob from Waquan Evans, is slamming the door on Miami. With 4:40 left in the game, the talented Tanner Dagone posterized the Miami player, leaving little doubt who Big Brother is. Noles 81, Canes 59. Then the Tribe took on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech in the godforsaken city of Atlanta. Jackets 76, Noles 65.
So Florida State goes 1-1 on the week. I'm telling you, I said this last week. I hate the city of Atlanta for anything sports related. Like, I'm so sick of it. We can't go there and seem to win anything in any sport like ever. So I'm tired of Atlanta. I hope we don't have to go there. I mean, I'm sure we'll be there again next year against Georgia Tech in basketball. But yeah, not the most fun yesterday. Team just really didn't look like they had it. Great win Wednesday night. I mean, you love to beat Miami. I mean, they were shorthanded, and so you can't lose that game one way or the other. But great win Wednesday night. Not a fun one yesterday. Guys, basketball thoughts quickly?
Yeah, and that's basketball. I had a lot of people texting me saying, like, hey, man, what's going on? This is Georgia Tech. Like, this is not a bad Georgia Tech team. They almost beat Virginia, who's probably the best team in the ACC. It's Florida State and Virginia right there. Lost by 2. They lost by, I think, 2 or 4 to Duke. They were due for a win, and road games in the ACC are if you win a road game in the ACC, that's a big deal. It's one of those things where if you have a winning record on the road in the ACC, that's a huge accomplishment for a team. And it's what happened. Alvarado, man, that guy from Georgia Tech, he pissed me off last night. He just could not miss. He was out of his mind. An outstanding performance by Georgia Tech. Give them all the credit in the world. I'm not worried at all about this Florida State team. We do have 3 more road games in a row, so that'll be 4 straight road games, which is kind of scary considering they're all conference games. But at the same time, I'm still not concerned. Again, that a game like that was going to happen eventually. And Florida State, it is what it is. That they'll be on the road the next 3 nights or the next 3 games, and then they come back to the TLC CCC. And I'm very confident this team will still be in the tournament, probably between a 3 to 5 seed, and then we'll see what happens from there in Indianapolis.
Freddie, what about the basketball team this week?
I'm not questioning this team at all. I had a feeling it was going to happen after we got on that run. And I think it's going to help us in the long run, just getting that test and getting a wake-up call, really, while the team was running high right now, emotions high, everybody's feeling good, kind of brings everybody down, settles them down, brings them back to earth. So now we're getting back to just playing. And this team, I do think, is a top team. I think we'll still make it to the Elite Eight, possibly the Final Four. I think that we have a solid squad here, and this is just going to help this team grow. So I have no questions at this point. I just hate Atlanta right now, man.
Yeah, man, that city, man.
Dude, I've gone to a bunch of games there. Like, yeah, I went to the Houston game there. I went to the Alabama game there. I'm never going back to another game in Houston. I went to the Georgia Tech game. My goodness, I'm over like the Georgia Tech football game. The kicks.
We had the Marcus Sims fumble. Then we had the kicks.
I didn't go to that one, bro. I ain't that old. So, but anyway, yeah, no. Florida State. Somebody commented it, but yeah, Florida State plays Tuesday night, 9:00 at Boston College. Quick chance to rebound. Quick chance to come back out and put a loss behind you, and then again go into all ACC road games are tough. Go into Chestnut Hill and win a game up there. And then Saturday at 2, play on the road at Pittsburgh. You guys remember playing last year? They played the ACC game. Like they played an ACC game early before they got into conference play. We lost to Pittsburgh to start the year. Yeah, so I've had it. Yeah, I've had it. A bad taste in my mouth against Pittsburgh since then. I hope we go in there and beat the heck out of them. So I always got a buddy that is from up there that I used to work with, and we always bet a 6-pack on it. So I need you, Noles, because I don't want to lose another 6-pack because of betting with my buddy. How's you mentioned the tournament? How's the old bracketology? Like where are we kind of slated right now, according to the experts?
Yeah, so right now Florida State, they're actually third in the ACC. Kind of tied with Virginia Tech. Florida State 6-2. Virginia Tech is 7-2. Virginia is 7-1, the class of the conference right now. But Virginia does come to Tallahassee in a few weeks. And if you go to Joe Lunardi's bracketology on ESPN, he currently has this as a 4 seed playing UAB in the opening round, playing the winner of Texas Tech versus a play-in game. But dadgummit, man, he's got us in Gonzaga's bracket. And Gonzaga and Baylor are 2 teams I want nothing to do with right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, we talked about that as well. Like, eventually you'd have to play him anyway, but yeah, I'd love to play him in the Final Four as opposed to a lot earlier.
Elite Eight, yeah.
But like you said, yeah, everything's right there and laid out for Florida State to kind of control what they're able to do. After these couple of games that we just talked about, next Tuesday, the 9th, Florida State goes to Virginia Tech, and then 11 days later, Virginia Tech comes here on February 20th. And then in between those 2 games, the day after Valentine's Day, gentlemen, there's your quick reminder, February 15th, Florida State plays home against Virginia. So a fun little stretch coming up there where they play both teams a couple of times in succession. That second Virginia Tech game, that home game, I think I'm going to. And I saw transitioning into this, baseball starts the day before. And then also the same day as that Virginia Tech game at home, the 20th, baseball has a double header. So I think I'm going to try and we're taking my daughter to like her first game. So I think that'll be fun. Maybe I'll just walk over there so she can see the baseball field. Obviously, she have no clue what's going on, but it'll be fun. But baseball starts in a couple of weeks too. And I'm excited to maybe we can get let me text somebody and see what's going on. But maybe we get Coach on here one more time before the season. I almost said tips off, but that's not the right word. Before the season kicks off, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, before they start hitting.
Arlen's not here. Nobody cares.
So anyway, excited for baseball to get going. Obviously, softball, everything else will get rolling as well. We talked a little basketball. The Super Bowl's this week. Richie, are you excited at all, or what's going on? Are you going? Did you get your tickets, or what's going on here?
Let me tell you, my heart was broken yesterday. So, as you guys know, I work in healthcare. I've had my first dose of the vaccination. I'll get my second dose on Monday. But we also have season tickets for the Bucks. Me and my buddy Weston went in on that. And I got a call from our season ticket rep Friday, and she's like, "Hey, we freed up a free ticket to the Super Bowl for you as a healthcare worker. I need the dates of your vaccinations." I said, "Yeah, but my first one was January 4th. My second one will be Monday, this coming Monday, February 1st. She's like, "Oh, the cutoff was January 28th. We cannot give you one of those." I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" But we're still in a lottery. it's unlikely that I'll get to go. I'm not paying $6,000, which is what the StubHub market is at right now. But we'll probably have a Super Bowl party at the house. If I do somehow get a ticket to the game, I will absolutely be there. But man, I missed my chance for a free Super Bowl ticket for Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay by 5 days.
That is brutal.
Yes.
And I can't tell you how bad I feel for your because like I knew it was going to be something like that because you'd have posted about like the fact that you were going or something like that. Like that really sucks. If I get a bunch of free tickets, like I'll give you one. Like I gotta take care of my family. Like I can't I can't give you one before I give my dad one, right? Like,
of course.
You know, but like if I get like 8,
rough, man. I was so pumped when she called. I saw it was 813, so I'm like, I don't typically answer phone calls I don't know, but I knew it was 813. I knew it was Tampa. I'm like, I think this is Rachel, our season ticket rep. And then like I went from like up here to down here real quick.
Bro, oh, that's brutal. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Before we talk about the Super Bowl, did you guys see the massive trade between the Rams and the Lions this week? I'll give you the details on it real quick. The Lions sent Matt Stafford to the LA Rams in exchange for Jared Goff. The Rams' 2022 first-round pick, their 2023 first-round pick, and a third-round pick in this draft. So Matt Stafford, just an absolute stat machine and always has been up there in Detroit, goes to LA. Jared Goff to the Lions. What are your immediate thoughts on that trade? Either one of you, because I want to get what both of you think there.
Go ahead, Freddie.
Yeah, just taking a look at everything that they gave up for Matt Stafford. On the outside looking in, some people may think that, okay, they're giving up too much, but all this shows to me is they believe that they should be playing in the Super Bowl this week, and they believe that Jared Goff is the reason that they're not playing in the Super Bowl, and they believe in Matthew Stafford more than they believe in Jared Goff. So they were willing to go all in to get to a Super Bowl while they still have Aaron Donald, while they still have Jalen Ramsey and this stout defense. And that's all it shows. And they bet big, and hopefully it pays off.
Yeah, man, I agree. It's clearly a move where they think they're one player away from being the king of the NFC. Obviously, nobody's knocking off Tampa Bay this year or next year, but maybe in 2 years they can have a chance. But I agree, Freddie. That's a move. Man, they don't have any first-round picks till like 2023 now, I saw. But at the same time, if you think the quarterback is the one position holding you back, and Matt Stafford, he has a Hall of Fame numbers as far as the stat line. He doesn't have the wins, but Detroit hasn't won a playoff game since 1957. That's a big deal. So good for Matt Stafford. My wife follows his wife on Instagram. She's a huge fan of him and his wife. And I told her, and she's super excited. I hope he does well. I'm excited for a Bucs-Rams NFC championship with Tom Brady, 44 years old, beating them. And then maybe after he retires, after winning his second straight Super Bowl, the Rams, they can cash in and make good on that bet there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a massive move for the Rams. I think that the Packers didn't have a very strong defense, and the Rams fell just short. The Packers got a touchdown late to make that score a little wider than the game actually was, but it was 18-25 in the fourth quarter. And I think with a guy like Stafford over Goff, I think the Rams could have potentially could have made that Green Bay game a little bit closer. Right? Like sure. It would have been a little more interesting. The Rams beat the Bucs when they played us, and then so you think about if Stafford's there instead of Goff, I don't know. Maybe honestly, if you had made that trade for that player at the beginning of the year, the Rams would be in the Super Bowl right now, right?
No,
No. All right, I'm going to mute Richie real quick because I'm being serious for like half a second. I know he's got to get his Tom Brady jokes off, but like that's how big of a trade I think it is. Like the Rams beat us with Jared Goff. Like what would they have done with Matt Stafford, right? Like upgrading the position, right? So they may be in the Super Bowl. And so, yeah, we'll see next year. They're going to be one of the favorites. Seattle doesn't look the same these days. They don't look great. I think that division's pretty open. The Niners are tough, but they had a ton of injuries this year. How do they rebound? What's their quarterback position look like? So, yeah, massive, massive trade. Detroit's in like full rebuild mode, but with all these first round picks that they're going to have, I mean, that's good. Like maybe they can kind of turn some things around. So I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. So we'll kind of see how it goes. Thoughts on the Super Bowl, Richie? I know you're picking the Bucs. I know you have picked them 16 straight weeks in the regular season. So why stop a picking streak now? Tell us your thoughts on the Super Bowl, Richie.
I mean, I'm just super excited. Obviously, we saw Kansas City at Tampa Bay earlier in the year. Despite the final score, Kansas City kind of controlled that game entirely. They kind of shut things down after getting up early. But I'm not going against Tom Brady, the GOAT, man. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be a great game. I understand why Kansas City's favored, and they should be. But at the same time, it's not one of those games where, my senior year at Florida State, I went to Gainesville for Tim Tebow's senior day, knowing we had no chance at winning. This is not one of those times. Tampa Bay, they are more than equipped to win this. This defense, obviously I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, and believe it or not, I was before he came to Tampa Bay. But this Florida State defense, or this Tampa Bay defense, has been the reason that they've gotten to the Super Bowl. Amazing pass rush, great play in the secondary. Devin White, Levante David, they have no weaknesses on the defensive side of the ball. But you have Pat Mahomes, and he's the best quarterback in the league right now, and it's really not close. He is so good, man. He can make every throw. He can improvise. He can run around. He can make plays, kind of like Jameis we saw in 2013 at Florida State. But I'm just so excited for Tampa. I keep saying Florida State, for Tampa Bay to be in the Super Bowl in their home stadium, first time ever it's happened. Whether I'm there or not, it will not change my level of excitement. Freddie, you're a Bucs fan too, man. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Just seeing what the Bucs defense was able to do to Aaron Rodgers last week. I know Kansas City had a monster of offense over there, but Tampa's defense has grown. We saw over the course of the regular season what they could be, but just to see the level of play they've displayed over these past few weeks, it's going to be a great matchup. Andy Reid has a lot of crazy looks, a lot of misdirection in his offense, and he's going to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers. But Todd Bowles, he's dialing up some great plays, and he's making it tough on opposing quarterbacks right now. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Everybody's talking about Mahomes and Brady, as they should be, but this defense, that's the key to the game. If they can make it tough on Patrick Mahomes, and I think the running game for Tampa, if they can get rolling, Fournette, he showed up big last week. Tampa has a strong chance to pull this one out.
Yeah, and I don't think Todd Bowles gets enough credit, man. What he's done with this defense is amazing. And Freddie, like you said, man, I'm a playoff Lenny. I love it, man. Leonard Fournette, his career has been reinvigorated from leaving Jacksonville. They cut him because no one wanted him, and the Bucs signed him. And man, that run last week in Lambeau was amazing.
Yeah, the Bucs need to improve offensively, in my opinion, to have any chance in this game. The defense has been really, really good and is the reason that the Bucs are here. But Brady has not had I know this is really going to hurt Richie's feelings. Brady has not had an especially good postseason. His completion percentage is 13 out of 14 qualifying quarterbacks. So like that doesn't count like Jameis going 1 for 1 or like a punter. Yeah. But I mean, he's 13th out of 14th on completion percentage. He has the second most turnovers in the playoffs. His rating is pretty low compared to all the other quarterbacks that have happened. The Bucs receivers lead the NFL in drops in the playoffs. The Bucs running backs rank 13th and 15th respectively in rushing yards per attempt. I know Fournette had the one really nice run on Sunday for the touchdown, but outside of that, the Bucs running backs have been they've been getting absolutely nothing. And so when your quarterback and your running backs and your wide receivers are all near the bottom of the league or the playoff bracket, you're like, well, how are they in this? Well, Drew Brees was really, really bad the game they played them. The Packers were but they've found a way, right? Like the defense has done enough. But I don't think the defense is just going to come out here and shut Mahomes down, right? Like they did that against Breeze. They severely limited the Packers, but I think the Bucs offense finally has to figure it out, and Brady's got to get better, right? Like he's the GOAT. We all understand that. We all know that. He hasn't played like the GOAT this postseason, and he needs to show up on Sunday. I think that there's been and Richie's been part of it, so I'll blame him as a member of the media. But there's been a massive, just oh my gosh, the Bucs are in the Super Bowl. This shows how Tom Brady's the GOAT, and he's there, but he hasn't been very good, right? He hasn't been the reason, and so he needs to be better, or the Bucs aren't going to win. He throws 3 picks against Kansas City. The Bucs aren't winning.
Yeah,
right? He throws 52% completions, like he did against the same. We're not winning, right? Like he's got to get better. He's got to be. I mean, he just needs to not turn the ball over, right? Like just that, right? Like he's got the second most turnovers in the playoffs. He needs to not do that, and the Bucs have a great shot at winning. So if he can improve his play, if the running backs can get a little better, if the wide receivers can stop dropping the freaking ball, and the defense can continue to play as well as they have, I think the Bucs have a chance.
Yeah, and this is reminiscent. This is reminiscent of that 2002 run.
No, it wasn't. Brad Johnson played way better than. I mean, Brad Johnson played way better than Tom Brady did in the playoffs.
So hear me out. This is reminiscent of that 2002 run, where people are like, the offense is meh, the defense is good. Then they're going to Philadelphia, like they can't win in cold weather. Said the same thing about Lambeau. You can't win up there; it's too cold and all this. They win that game at no home games until the Super Bowl, which is ridiculous. And obviously, they didn't play in the Super Bowl. But in the Super Bowl back in 2003, they played the number one offense in the country, or in the entire league. And Tampa Bay, the defense, Dexter Jackson, Florida State alum, Super Bowl MVP. He showed out. So can Anton Winfield? He's coming back this week. Levante David should be back. There's a lot of good things. It reminds me a lot of that run back in 2002, 2003 that I'm so excited about. And I'm not picking I'm not picking Tampa Bay to win just yet.
Drank too much out on the course.
But no, I didn't even drink on the course.
Well, you should have.
I should have. Yeah, I would have shot a lot better. But at the same time, man, like this Tampa Bay team, I think if the defense plays their capabilities, you're going to need a vintage Tom Brady game. Like I agree with you, TJ. You cannot have the Tom Brady of the past 3 weeks and expect to win. But if you get a vintage Tom Brady game, and it's one game, him showing up, nobody wants this Super Bowl more than Tom Brady does right now. Like I don't care what anyone says. He wants to prove that he can do this without Belichick. He wants this game more than anybody. I'm not betting against him. Again, we're not recording till Monday, so I guess we should do our Super Bowl picks. But we'll get into that in a second. But man, I'm so excited for this game. How can you not be excited? When your team is playing for a championship, you are excited regardless, and that's where I am right now.
Yeah, I do hate the 2-week layoff. I hate the fact that we've had to wait. I wish the game was today. We could have recorded tomorrow instead. But yeah, no, I hate the but I'm excited. I just think that Brady's got to move from wanting it more than anyone else to stop playing like the second worst quarterback in the playoffs. Like that's where it's got to, like just wanting it isn't going to be enough. Wanting it's not going to be enough to stop Mahomes. To me, that's the problem is the Bucs could play really, really, really well on defense and still give up 31 points to Kansas City. Yeah. Like that's not like, that's just how good they are. And
they're a machine.
I don't know that I see the Bucs scoring that much, right? The way their offense has been playing, I don't know that I see them score that much. The Bucs have done a fantastic job of capitalizing on turnovers. They scored 21 off turnovers against New Orleans. They scored 10 off turnovers against Green Bay. Kansas City is usually pretty smart with the ball and doesn't turn the ball over. And so if you're not getting those short fields, it makes it a lot tougher. I'm sorry, they scored 14 off of turnovers against Green Bay. If you're not getting those short fields, it makes it a lot tougher. Tampa Bay has scored 6 times on drives that started within the other team's 50-yard line. this postseason. So you're averaging about 2 a game. It was 1 against Washington, 3 against New Orleans, 2 against Green Bay. And so you can't count on Kansas City to turn the ball over twice in their own territory.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the Bucs just have to improve in a lot of areas. I'll give my pick. I think Kansas City wins this and covers. I'm not saying the Bucs have no chance. I don't think it's a blowout. I'm not just being super pessimistic like, Florida State fan. I picked the Lakers to win. I picked the Lightning to win. I picked the Dodgers to win when they play the Rays. So I just try and be pretty realistic about things. I think Kansas City is playing better than the Bucs are. I think Mahomes is the better quarterback right now, and quarterback play means a lot. And so I like Kansas City to win something like 38-31. I don't think it's a blowout. I think they cover the spread. I think it's high scoring. I think it's a lot of fun, but I just think they're going to be too much. I went first because I know that Richie's more of a homer, so we can let him bring the energy back up.
Freddie, go next. Freddie, what are your thoughts, man? TJ is not giving us much hope, man.
I just said it's like a touchdown game. I can go either way.
You gonna be more bad than
man. Freddie, what are your thoughts, man? Who wins?
Listen, just to speak on what y'all were saying earlier, I do believe Brady is the reason that the Bucs are here, but not because of his play on the field. I think it's just his presence. Being around a guy with that type of experience just has guys that normally wouldn't have believed in themselves. That they buy in now. So those guys are playing harder. They understand what it takes to get to that level. But that being said, in the last Super Bowl that Brady won, he wasn't the reason that they won it. So, and he hasn't been playing at an elite level at this point. He's still a good player, but he's not that elite Tom Brady we've seen in the past. And I've voiced my opinion about this Chiefs team all season. I truly believe that with Andy Reid, this offense, and all the play pieces that they have, they're the equivalent of what you had in Golden State with the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant. They just have too much firepower. And it's going to be hard for them to contain that. And I see the Chiefs winning this and covering this game. I think the Bucs give them a little trouble early, but it's just tough. The Bucs going to go down on some long drives and get some scores, but you got a Chiefs team that can score in 5 seconds. It's tough.
All right. So here it is, guys. Tampa Bay, Raymond James Stadium, the Buccaneers hosting Kansas City. Kansas City, they won it all in Miami last year. It ain't happening this year, y'all. I am going with the GOAT. I'm going with Tom Brady. I'm going with I'm going with Tampa Bay and the best defense right now in the NFL. Jason Pierre-Paul, Shaq Barrett, Devin White, Levante David. These guys are going to be all over Mahomes all night. I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game. It's going to be tight. 34-31. Buccaneers win. They're firing the cannons. I don't know if they're allowed to fire the cannons during the Super Bowl, even though it's their stadium, but they're going to fire those cannons, and the Bucs win their second Super Bowl, and I am here for it. I will be celebrating. I already took the next Monday off from work.
What did you say the score was?
34-31, Tampa Bay.
Gotcha. Freddie, did you pick a score?
Should I say 35-27 Chiefs?
35-27. Yeah, no, I think it's something in that range. I think that that kind of that magic number is getting above 31, and whoever can do that first probably wins. The Bucs started really well against Green Bay. They need to start well against Kansas City. They can't go down big like they did last time.
No.
So it'll be fun to see. I mean, I think the game's going to be a ton of fun, one way or the other. We didn't even talk about all the insane. I mean, you talk about the Bucs weapons, right, with Godwin and Evans and AB and Gronk and Brait. Man, they're insane. But those Kansas City weapons. I mean, Kelsey's the best tight end in the league. Hill's the best playmaker. Like, it is just they're insane on their side. So we will see.
They have.
Yeah, no, it like Freddie said, man, it is like that Golden State feel of how they're coming out. So I like Kansas City 3.5. So Freddie does too. If you're on my bookie, you should sign up if you're not on there already. Richie, tell people
real quick. Bet the Super Bowl, man. It's a Super Bowl. Bet the first half, bet the second half, bet the whole game, bet all the props. Mybookie.ag. Use the promo code NoSlaw. and they will match you up to 50%. So you put $100 in, you got $150 to bet with. You cannot beat that right now. I'm gonna have like 20 different bets going on for the Super Bowl, from the national anthem, 2 minutes over under, to Tom Brady 2.5 touchdowns. All these prop bets. I'm so excited. But go to mybookie.ag, use the promo code NOSLAW, and they will match 50% of whatever you deposit. So definitely go for it.
Going to be a lot of fun. Somebody asked, we had a couple of good questions in the chat and as well on Twitter. Somebody asked, see a lot of 21 through 23 kids online reacting to what FSU is doing on the trail. How do you feel about our coaches and the momentum on the trail? Any opinions changing about the staff? We kind of talked to recruiting a little bit earlier. I don't know if my opinion on the staff has changed at all. I'll let you guys answer too. I mean, I always kind of had confidence in the staff. I just knew that it would be, I didn't dive in head first like I did with Taggart because, Norvell didn't come in and say like, oh, we're ready to win right now. So anyway, yeah, like I feel good about where we're at with the staff. The recruiting momentum right now is obvious. And like we said, you just got to win to kind of back it up. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Everything on the recruiting trail is cool, but the biggest thing, we got to get wins. It has to translate to the fields. It's all cool if we get recruits and that all looks good, but we've seen 5 stars, 4 stars that didn't produce on the field. So it's going to reflect back to the coaching staff. We have to be able to make this translate on the field, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things where, I'm very encouraged by where the staff is right now as far as recruiting. Nico Macchiol, getting him was a huge deal, as well as the defensive end that we discussed earlier. But at the same time, you got to win games. That's what it comes down to. Like if you can get a random 3 or 4 star to commit here and be all in, but if you end up going 4 and 8 next year, these guys might want to look elsewhere, and nobody could blame them. So you got to win games, and everything's in place right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. The other one that we saw in the comments was, did you see that Nick Saban video that got leaked today?
I did not yet.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I saw it and I'll give you the quick breakdown. But he basically, somebody was recording like a Zoom. And I just bet he was mad as hell when he saw this. But
yeah, probably.
Very quickly, somebody was recording a Zoom and it was basically his recruiting pitch to him. And he said, hey, look, we've won 6 out of the last 11 titles. We've been in the playoff. Richie, mute your mic when you do that, bro. What you got going on there? Open a bag of chips or something. You're worse than Reggie Northrup.
Reggie was out of control with his stuff.
Bro, that's what yours just sounded like. Ask Freddie. He basically said, we won 6 out of the last 11. We've been in the game 8 out of the last 11 years. We've been in the playoff 9 out of the last 11 years. We put more guys in the NFL than anybody else. He said the gap, it was like 41, and the next team had like 26. He said, bro, I really am muting you. You really are eating right on here. You're chomping like Reggie, bro. The people on the audio got to hear this every night. So anyway, said, here's the gap between us and the next team. And then he said, you're going to have other people recruiting you that say, well, you should come here because you can't go play at Alabama right away, right? You're going to have to sit behind other guys. And he said there's a reason that there's 3 reasons why that's wrong. Number 1, they're just telling you they're not as good as us, right? Like if they're telling you that you can come in there and play right away. He said, number 2, I wouldn't be talking to you if you couldn't play, right? Like I wouldn't waste my time talking to you if you couldn't play here. And number 3, that competition is what's going to make you so great. And he listed the guys that like went up against each other. Like this guy got to guard Amari Cooper every day. And this guy got to go up against this offensive lineman. This guy got to go up against this defensive lineman. And that competition that we've talked about with the 2013 team, we were so deep and there were so many legends that got to go up against each other. Alabama just has that every year. So anyway, that was basically his pitch to him. And you got to go watch it. You got to go see it because obviously Saban delivers it way better than I ever could. But it was just like, man, How does any coach and that's why they don't lose recruiting battles. I muted you, Richie. I know you're saying stuff, but I really did mute you because you were like chomping on the mic. You got to unmute. But like, how does any coach ever compete with that recruiting? And that's why they don't lose recruiting battles, right? Like that, it's another level. So go watch that video. It's incredible. Richie, what were we going to say?
No, I was saying I want to go play for Alabama now and get a master's degree from there because
I just recruited Richie to Bama. You're welcome, Coach.
So I'm ready to go there, and it helps that my wife would support that. She's a huge Bama fan, so let's go.
I'm finna report that video to Twitter for bullying because we're not getting no recruits. The more that video get out, I'm like, dang, when I saw that video, I was like, oh man, good. And it's a perfect pitch just for me to sit back and think, dang, this is his pitch to recruits. Like, we can't let this get out. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, the product. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like I remember walking into an Apple store one day and telling the guy like, "Hey, I want a computer. Just sell me on like which computer." Right? Like I was going in to buy one. The product sells itself, right? Like if you want a MacBook, like you walk into the Apple store, they'll sell you one. Like it ain't tough. Not only is somebody just commented this. Not only is Saban a master salesman, and he did build the program from. It was pretty low when he got there, but. I mean, the product sells itself at this point, right? Like nobody has to walk into Tesla and say like, hey, what kind of cars you guys got? You know, like is this quality? You know, this is good stuff, right? Nobody has to walk into the Apple store and ask to be, you know, and that's what Saban does too, right? Like,
I love how Noles fans Saban like you get to guard Amari Cooper every day. Like, yeah, damn, that's who I got to guard every day. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, he's insane and they're insane and the product is insane as well. So Richie's wearing his Double Fries hat. You can get some Double Fries gear at big3rollup.com. Go check out the selection there. Also, if you're watching, listening, whatever, if you can retweet, like this, comment, we would certainly appreciate it. If you're listening on iTunes, click the page and leave a 5-star review. We would certainly appreciate that as well. Guys, you guys have anything else before we get some shout outs here?
Freddie, what you got?
No, that's pretty much it for me, man. I'm probably finna head to the gym after this, get me some cardio in. These things right here is probably the reason Cocoa Rolls. I don't know if I'm trying to get us a sponsor, man. These things.
There we go.
Is that Whole 30?
I bought these the other day, and they so good. I'm telling you, I was supposed to eat like a cup of them. And I ran through 4 bags today, so I got to go burn that off at the gym.
Love it, man.
I need you to stop posting food pictures on Twitter or on Facebook, bro.
Oh, no. That's my cousin. He has he does. He has a little baking business, and I shared that, and I'm just thinking about
Oreo cheesecake. We need to do a live show over there with that Oreo cheesecake, bro. Because that was
strawberry cake he posted last week that made me break, man. That's crazy.
That wasn't good on day 29 of Whole 30, bro. Seeing that, waking up first thing and Freddie sharing that, I'm just like, bro, I just want to jump out of his bed right now. So I wouldn't have got on the bike while Richie was playing. So, all right, shout outs, Richie.
Yeah, man. Shout out my season ticket rep, Rachel, for the Buccaneers. Get me to the game. That's all I got to say. Get me to Tampa Bay.
She did, bro. You didn't do your part.
I know. Oh, man. I'm so mad. You have no idea how mad I am about that.
Oh, couldn't imagine. Freddie, any shout outs?
No shout outs to me. I think I gave my shout out, but finna go shout out to this sauna in a little bit. I got to burn this off.
Sweat it all out. Yeah, I don't think I have anything either. Shout out to me for being done with Whole 30 this week. So I got 3 hours and 55 minutes. I'm watching that clock like a hawk. All right, I think we're going with a familiar song. I apologize that Richie keeps putting you guys through this. Win or loss on Monday night.
This is a new one. It was updated. It was updated this week. No, it was updated this week.
It's the same beat, right? It sounds the same.
Same beat. They do not talk about John Gruden. They talk about Bruce Arians got the team off the chain this year.
Is Bruce if the Bucks win, is Bruce Arians the worst head coach to ever win a Super Bowl?
Probably.
Like think about that. Like
probably.
That's like when what's the Miami coach that won in 2001? Oh, Butch
Larry Coker, yeah.
Oh, Coker. Yeah. Yeah, that's like Larry Coker. So anyway, all right. Get the song and get out of here before I cuss out Bruce Arians. What's the name of it? Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same one.
Yeah, I text you the link.
All right, cool. All right. Go Bucks. Go Noles. And go sign up to be a booster if you haven't already. We'll see you guys next week.